Hi everyone, it's Laura. Hope you're all doing really well. Today's video might be the beginning of a new series if it's something you're interested in, and we're going to be focusing on the breath in yoga. So it's a huge part of yoga. There are the 8 limbs of yoga and it's one of the main limbs. So you have your asana, which is your pose, your movement, and then you have your pranayama, which is your breath, which they call their life force, because we can't do any of this without the breath. We can't live without our breath, so it's incredibly important for your yoga practice that the whole thing is combined. For me it's all about what I call a breath-body connection. So when we're practicing our yoga, if our breath isn't connected in what we're doing, it's not going to help focus the mind, it's not going to keep us in tune with what we're doing right then in that moment, and it's going to be very hard to either stay in a posture or even move around if you're doing, say, a flow yoga. So I thought it would be really nice to maybe look at some of the different breaths that we can do throughout yoga, but today I just want to focus on just a basic breath, finding where to look for that breath, where it needs to be rooted from, and a little technique just so you can hear the breath as well, because sometimes, especially if you're in a class or if there's music, you may not be able to just tune into that breath. So I'm just going to give you a few little hints and tips, and a little bit of an explanation about some of the terms that you might have been hearing in yoga as well. So just get yourself somewhere nice and comfortable, cozy. I'd say somewhere nice and quiet, and just find a nice easy position to be in. So I've got myself down on my yoga mat, but you really don't need to for this. I just want you to focus on the breath. I would just say nice loose clothing so that you're going to be able to be really in tune with that breath. And like I mentioned just before, somewhere nice and quiet is going to be really, really important. Because I'm sat down, I'm actually going to sit, yes, I'm going to sit on a block, just because if you see as I'm sitting as I am, my hips are kind of going straight out in front. If I place my bottom on a block. For a start, I'm just about in the camera, but it gives me a lot more room around my stomach, and this is where I want your breath to come from. Super, super important. If you wanted to, there is obviously a wall behind me. You can always lean against this wall as well, but the only thing I would say about that is that it's good to be mindful that your lungs, they go all the way around. So although we are front facing, that's why we always think about the breath lifting from the front. Actually, it's important to sometimes work on almost breathing into the back of the lungs as well, getting that full capacity. So if you want to start leaning against a wall, do feel free, I want you to make sure that you feel really comfortable. But if possible, it'd be quite good maybe just to put that block underneath you, or a blanket, anything like that, and just get yourself nice and comfy in a nice seated, easy pose. So to begin with, I want to just think about where the breath is going to come from. In day-to-day life, we often find that if we take note of our breath, maybe when we're a bit stressed or running around, it's going to be quite high. It's going to be coming from the chest, because we're not actually going to be taking in a lot of air. We're going to be breathing a little bit quicker maybe, and it's going to be in this very high area. You might just have that rise and fall of the chest, and that can make you feel maybe a little bit anxious. It can be quite close to the throat as well, so it can feel a little bit closed off. And really what we want to do is think about taking that breath all the way down and right into the base of our tummy, okay? When we're babies, this is where we always breathe from. So if you're around children and babies, you'll see their breath always comes from a very, very low and deep place. And that's where we want to really get that full capacity in the lungs. When we breathe high up, it only leads to those feelings of kind of anxiety or stress, maybe worry, and it can also, brings everything up, doesn't it? As you're breathing and breathing, you get tighter and tighter in this area. So we want to loosen it all up and really focus on that breath going all the way down. Okay. So at the beginning of all of my practices, I always do 3 breaths anyway to tune in, because it's really important just to be able to make that note of, okay, now I'm going into my practice. And for me, that's really important. I can't just sort of throw myself on the mat and get going. I need these 3 breaths to really tune in, maybe set any intentions, or just to really notice how I feel. It's super, super important. So we'll do those 3 breaths together. I'm probably going to bash in stuff because I'm not normally sat like this. I just want the palms to go out to the side, facing out. Take a nice big inhale as we lift. So inhale lifts you all the way up, coming into a little prayer pose if you like. And then exhale out the mouth for me, all the way down towards the chest. And when we put our hands to the chest, our thumbs are naturally going to come and rest onto the chest bone, and we might just start to feel that heartbeat as well. And that's going to really help us tune into how the breath currently is, if the heartbeat's quick or slow, or even it's just a really nice way to be able to take note of how you feel. You know, that heartbeat is really going to be related to how you feel right now. So we take deep breaths here, just in through the nose and out through the nose. Just in your regular pace to begin with. If it's comfortable too, you can soften the gaze or even close the eyes. Just to take note of your inhales and exhales and just where they are right now. Are they coming up from the centre? Are they coming almost from just beneath the thumbs? Or are they sinking a little bit deeper, maybe around the ribs or even below the tummy? And we're going to take 2 more deep breaths just as we did before, with the palms out to the side to help tune in. So a nice big inhale for me, lifting all the way up through the ribs. Easy exhale slowly takes you down. This can be out the mouth or the nose, it's entirely up to you. I just want you to naturally go where it feels comfortable to you right now. So as I mentioned before, this is often something as a good time to set your intentions. So thinking about, what you want to get from your practice, whether it's relaxation, a feeling of kind of unwinding or releasing the body. Maybe it's just for the mind or the breath, but often it's for everything connected. We want that general well-being feeling, don't we? And one more time for me, palms out. Big inhale, lifting all the way up. Easy exhale, slowly brings you down. Perfect. Okay. The hands can just come and rest onto the knees at the moment, palms facing up. And I just want you to start to think about how we can get that breath to come all the way down into the tummy area. So we're going to take what we call a Ujjayi breath. And this is your main breath that you use for yoga. It's a slightly raspy breath, and by creating that sound, it means that it's also really helpful to get you connected. You can hear it, you can hear that breath, and that makes you feel really connected to the body. It's sometimes called the Darth Vader breath, which you'll find out a little reason why. It's something that you'll often hear teachers talk about. But just know that this is going to be your general kind of breath, just a nice, slow, easy breath that's going to come all the way from the tummy. So to begin with, we can maybe just put our hands onto our tummy. Sometimes I should say stomach rather than tummy, shouldn't I? And I want you to take an inhale, and we're going to go for the count of 3. So we inhale 1, 2, 3. Exhale 1, 2, 3. And before we start to think about any of the noise, anything that we've got going up at the top, I just want you to think about going 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So we inhale the chest, inhale the ribs, inhale all the way to the tummy. So it's an expanding, expanding, expanding. And then we release, it goes in and in and in. So the breath is like an energy, it's going to go all the way down and then all the way back up. And it's a really nice calming breath. Okay? So as we're going, don't worry about anything else at the moment, just worry about getting that breath all the way down and all the way up. So hold on to that tummy. Inhale 1, 2, 3. Exhale 1, 2, 3. Nice and gentle. Now that will create lots of energy and heat in the breath as well, especially if we just go for inhaling and exhaling out the nose. So a nice way to be able to spot this is if we put our hand up, we're going to take our inhale and exhale, breathing on the hand. And you might start to feel that breath's actually quite warm. So it's a warming breath. Ujjayi is really good because it's calming and energizing, so it's got a really good combo for the breath. We'll try that again, but I want you to breathe out of your mouth this time on your hand, almost like if you were cleaning a bit of glass. So, or you know, sometimes you might pick up a glass and there's a little smudge and you go, and then you give it that little wipe. I want that breath to come out of you, okay? So put that hand up, just so you can get used to expelling the air as well, the same amount. We're going to take the count of 3 to inhale. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. Okay. I'm going to have less breath for me because I'm counting. But because you can be nice and quiet and mindful, really start to think about expanding. Okay. Just want to point out, as I mentioned it before, that we obviously do also have our lungs at the back. So we have this room to expand all the way back. So for just one of these breaths, I want you to just get your hands to the back, just to where they're comfortable, relatively high up. So we're just going to be around the base of the lungs. And I want you to inhale and think about inhaling into the palm of your hands. So we're really lifting up to the top of our head. We want lots of energy, nice and tall. But we're going to be expelling and moving those lungs from the back. So inhale to the count of 3. Exhale. We'll do one more like that. Big inhale. And exhale. Can you feel that movement in the back? So that's particularly good if you're in any kind of forward fold, because we can sometimes feel in a forward fold that as we're coming down, we don't have that room in our lungs anymore to take that deep breath, but you can take them from the back. So you can inhale and lift from the back and exhale, push the air out from there. So you don't ever have to feel like you're constricted in any kind of movement. Okay. So to go back to the Ujjayi breath, the Darth Vader breath, it's called that because you are going to make this kind of raspy noise as you breathe, and that's what's going to help you to tune in. So the easiest way to do that is think about you're almost constricting the air as it's coming down the throat. And to do that, we lengthen the body. We always have our nice, strong, zipped-in spine, and we're just going to tilt the chin down ever so slightly. So that's just slowly restricting the throat just a little bit. So I'm just going to take a few breaths, and I just want you to be able to hear what I've got going on. There's always more noise on the way out than on the way in. Okay. So nice open chest, hands down towards the knees. And again, I'm going to count to the count of 3 each time. So. Okay, so I want you to have a go. Either keeping the hands nice and still on the top of the knees, or holding onto that tummy if you still want to make sure we focus on taking the air all the way down. So we'll try it together. I should have mic'd myself up. Hopefully you'll be able to hear the breath. But a nice big inhale for me. Two more times. And release that breath. Move the hands and just take a few nice easy breaths just at your own pace. Don't have to worry about any kind of sound coming out. We can lift the chin up and just have a few little swallows if it feels, sometimes when you first start to do it, it can feel a little bit coarse in the throat. Okay, so that's just something for you to get going on. I just thought it'd be a nice introduction to that breath, and just be mindful of it. The main thing I want you to take away from this is that to start being mindful of the breath, especially when we're doing our yoga, either in a relaxation pose, so in Shavasana, or maybe if we're going mid-flow, this idea that we inhale and we really lift the chest, we open the ribs and we fill the belly. Okay, so anytime as well that you might feel slightly stressed, think about taking that breath, that energy all the way down and then slowly bringing it all the way back up. If you've got any questions at all, please leave them below. Give me a thumbs up if you'd like to see some more videos on different breaths, because in yoga we have a lot of different breath that we do, different breath work. So if that's something that you're interested in, let me know, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.